Hi, legends. How is everyone doing on this beautiful Friday, getting ready for the weekend? And at the moment, I'm seeing some dumpy action here from the price of Bitcoin. And as per the thumbnail, there is a potential upwards correction that I'm keeping an eye on over here if we do not just dump from where we are right now. We will go and analyze the high probable scenarios, go through a little bit of what I saw yesterday, what didn't play out. And as always, with good risk management, that's what keeps us in the game. Ooh, I have some more alarms going off here, as most probably with this dump here to the downside. Some of the altcoins losing structure over here. Can this dump continue, or are we going to find a stop? Have a little bit of a pump maybe before the market slows this afternoon for the weekend, and have that slow, boring price action over the Saturday, and maybe on Sunday we start seeing some volatility back. Okay, Mr. MK Alexander, first morning here from where I am, Legends. Welcome to the live stream. Still being patient. Yes, we actually, myself and the Legends got into a trade. Well, I hope they got into the trade because that is a trade that I highlighted this morning during my update. The range high. Okay, you guys often hear me speak about the range high. Mr. Crypto Big Brains, thanks for joining. I appreciate the support. Mr. Scoot, hey, I know who you are now. Let's go, 𝗬𝗆𝗍𝗍. Welcome to the live stream. Ghost Levi, morning. Welcome. Let's go. Let me share my screen over here. Okay. Currently getting a little bit of a dump here to the downside, but let's just zoom out quickly over here. And okay, this is kind of the structure that I'm watching here at the moment. It looks like we are inside a flag. Okay, whether you want to call it a bull flag, a bear flag, I don't actually care. It looks like, we have two clear pivots over here, and potentially we could be ranging inside here before we have either a breakout to the upside or to the downside. And today we will analyze, well, which one carries the higher probability, up or down? Right, that is the question. Okay, we have to acknowledge that we're still respecting this upwards momentum. We are still creating higher lows. Okay, so will we start changing market structure? We also have higher highs. Only when I'm looking at this structure, I'm not counting the structure to the left. Okay, only looking at this structure over here, we have higher highs, higher lows, and we are inside a flag. What are the possibilities? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? You think there's a higher probability of us breaking here to the outside or to the upside? Or, it's also common for these bull flags to have a couple of fake outs to either the upside and to the downside before you get the real move. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get a fake out to the downside, you get acceptance back above, you swing failure from the lows, and then the true breakout to the upside. Or are we going to have the fake out here to the upside, okay, maybe create the lower high and smack back down? So this is the scenarios that I want to analyze here today on the price of Bitcoin. And I really hope that the legends in the pro community took this trade, because it looks like it's actually now playing out to perfection. Let's go here onto the 15-minute time frame and let me explain what is going on here. Okay, so this was the level we watched, and this is the trade that I got into. Okay, I got into this short over here. My position is already protected, expecting momentum here to the downside. And for those of you that has been following me for a while, you know exactly why I got into that short, okay? You have a dump to the downside with high volume. You form the first high, which I refer to as the range high, okay? And if it's in reverse, it will be the range low. And the rule for the strategy state, you tap it for the first time, you can expect momentum to the downside, and usually the target is the low, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if we take the low and maybe we find support here by the trend, or we go and tap this pivot, this untapped pivot here that I've been eyeing for so long that's still not tapped. Okay, definitely a swing failure pivot that I'm watching over here. So if we do get aggressive momentum here to the downside, actually looks like price is recovering quite nicely. But if we do get momentum here to the downside, getting that fake out outside of the flag, you get momentum back inside your SFP from this level. Okay, then potentially we can have a true breakout here from this trend. You will see that I have adjusted my trend. Okay, my trend last night was there. Okay, But I will be honest with you guys, I do not like this trend because I do not have a clear A and a B point from a trend line perspective, okay? I like me some clear A, B, and C points, right? So this trend line looks really a lot better for me at the moment because it has a clear A point and it has a clear B point. I like to see waves, okay? I like to see proper waves. So definitely, you know, one can consider the trend line that I had last night. And just want to clean up the scribble over here to say that yesterday during my update, I did end the live stream. And after the live stream, I saw the bearish CVD kicking in. I was like, oh, God damn it. This market changes so quickly. I did end off the live stream by saying, for now, based on what I'm seeing at the moment, we have a higher probability of claiming the high before we claim the low. Okay. And then we got the dump here to the downside. And I was like, damn, right? And there was some massive bearish CVD building up with a momentum here to the downside. Okay, so didn't work out, right? We're not always right, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's about trading with good risk management. And I had a whole speech yesterday during my live stream for those of you that did join, saying that you have to pay yourself on the way up because you never know if you're going to come back down and stop yourself out. So I hope you guys listened and you paid yourself on the way up. Also, the ADA trade that I highlighted yesterday, okay? Some of you might still be in this trade, but I did say yesterday I took profits, a little bit of profits. Okay, I must admit I took a little bit of profits here by the 382. I was hoping for at least the 50% fib level to get hit here by the TP1, where I would have closed about 50 to 60% of the position, and I would have left the rest open to go and close by the 618, 786, just taking profits on the way up. And now 88 does not look good, okay? I actually got stopped out. So what I did is I moved up my stop loss below this low, and now I got stopped out. So it is what it is. Right, we can go and have a look at 88 in a moment again. I just want to focus for now here on the price of Bitcoin. Okay, so VWAP most probably got hit because that was definitely a TP1 for the legends that did get into this trade. I mentioned when you tap this level for the first time, okay, there is a possibility to come and claim the low. No mistake. But I will also keep an eye on the VWAP because you just never know. You have to pay yourself. Okay, so if I switch on the VWAP, we hit the VWAP and now we're getting acceptance back above the VWAP. Okay, so for those of you that caught the trade here to the downside, I hope you took profits on the way down. Okay, morning, Devold, Mariela. Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining. Crypto Fart. Looks like we may be dumping already. Yes, we are getting a dump, but now we're also getting a nice recovery here to the upside. Okay, the probabilities for this range low or range high, okay, is when you tap this multiple times, you do increase the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency. Okay, and this is why it's important. The first touch usually gives you a reaction to the downside, but it's never guaranteed that you're going to take the low, and that's why you have to pay yourself small little scalp here to the downside. I mean, really, it is a small little trade here to the downside. We cannot argue, but a trade nonetheless, a successful trade with a little bit of leverage. I mean, you can still make a decent amount of money with a momentum here to the downside. Okay, I did take some profits here to the downside. And okay, and I might be stopped out now. Okay, if we tap this level, I will be stopped out because my position is protected. So if I get stopped out, I don't mind, right? Because I did take profits and I get stopped out with no loss, right? So that's the name of the game. Okay, you have to protect your capital. So if we tap, okay, this is the rule for the strategy. If we tap this, we haven't tapped it just as yet, okay? If we tap this line for a second time, we increase the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency, okay? And what is interesting about this inefficiency over here, okay, there's a couple of things. Let's start here with a smaller time frame and stay. Okay, we've tapped it. I got stopped out, and now we're getting some upwards momentum. And most probably, ADA has found acceptance So frustrating. You know, sometimes when you de-risk yourself, you get stopped out, and then the momentum continues to the upside, and the price does what you wanted it to do. But nonetheless, I got stopped out with profits. Okay, that's what's important. Did you get stopped out with a loss, or did you get stopped out with profits? Right, because now we have, if I just take this out the way, sorry, not this one. If I take this out the way, so we can see we have acceptance back above the trend. This looks great, okay? ADA has acceptance back above the trend, and this is now the trend that I'm tracking over here, okay? This is the trend that I'm tracking. If we can get a successful breakout over here, we definitely have a chance to come and claim the high, and right, we are still making higher lows. Okay, we are still making higher lows, which is great. Now we need to go and make a higher high, and then potentially the momentum can continue here to the upside. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, back here onto the price of Bitcoin. Okay, so it's just a game of probabilities. Even if we still get a rejection to the downside, we have now officially increased the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency at some point. It doesn't mean that it has to fill it right now. You could still have a dump here to the downside. You consolidate, you range, and then you go and fill the inefficiency, but you have increased the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency. Okay, so what I would like to see over here is when I take a fib from the high to the low, let's just stay here inside of this structure, okay? One of the things that I am looking at is to say that, okay, you can see we tapped the 382. Look at the fibs, how beautifully they've been respected. You tapped the 382 and we got a rejection to the downside. We tapped the 50%, okay, and we got a nice rejection to the downside. So we still have the 618 and we still have the 786. The 786 I really like because it has confluence with filling the inefficiency. And this is pure technicals, okay? I'm not saying I hope we're going to get there, I wish we're going to get there. Purely from a technical perspective, if you fill the inefficiency, we have confluence with the 786. And also, when I start switching on some levels, I think we also have a naked. Oh, that's a little bit higher. I thought we had a naked point of control over here, but not so much. Okay, so that's actually in the bigger structure that I'll get to in a moment. Okay, we are back already. Yes, good Friday afternoon. Alan Clark, welcome to the live stream. Like to see, great to see you here. Right, higher high, lows, upwards channel in a bear flag. Higher highs and higher lows in an upwards channel in a bear flag. Yes, quite confusing, right? Okay, we have now officially got acceptance back inside the range high, okay, which increases the probabilities that we could potentially even come back here to the 786. And I think what would look bullish, I've got a previous day value area high line over here. And for those of you that want to know, well, how on earth did I get that line over here that's kind of in the middle of nowhere? But this is a decision moment for me. This line is a decision moment for me, whether I need to short or whether I need to long to the upside. Okay. If I go onto the 1 hour time frame, just to show everyone where I get that from, it's from the session volume profile indicator. Okay, I don't really call it an indicator. It just shows you where the session volume profile of each day. That's all it basically does. Okay, and you can see the previous day value area high is where I have that line. Okay. This morning during my update with the legends as well, I said is usually, okay, when you are busy with today's price action. So this value area high, low point of control has not finished forming. So you look at the previous day where it's finished formed. Okay. If you can hold above the value area low of the previous day, okay, if price action can hold above, which we dipped below and we got acceptance back above, you increase the probabilities of coming to fill the box. Okay, and there are many examples that I can go and show you as well. So from a long or a rejection perspective, if you can hold the value area low and price finds momentum to the upside, okay, well, not if price, if you can hold the value area low, you increase the probabilities that you're going to come tap the top. Okay, and the top can definitely be a rejection where you struggle to break through SFP Okay, maybe you tap that 786, or maybe you wick the 618 and you get acceptance back below. You have a fake out from the trend and you go and you claim all the liquidity below these lows, where you're making lower high, and the momentum continues to the downside. So very important line for me over here is to say that, do we smash through the trend? That's tick number one for me. Do we smash through the trend with high time frame candle closes above the trend? I'm not going to FOMO into this trade. I will be patiently waiting because it can go to much higher levels. Okay. And do we claim the previous day value area high? Okay. A breakout over here and the retest, it's the retest that I'm interested in, together with bullish CVD, that will give me confirmation. Okay. We reclaimed yesterday's area. It looks bullish. We're flipping the area into support. We have multiple candles closes outside of the trend, and it looks great where you break out, you make a, okay, that would be even greater, okay, if you can make a higher high. I mean, that would be great. Come back for a retest where you have higher low, higher high. Okay, you get the picture. That would be great. But I mean, I would consider even holding this level over here, even if you get a lower high. You hold the level and you continue the momentum, and then you create the higher high, because I still want to make profits on the way up. Okay, there's a lot of scribble here. Let me just clean this up. Okay, so that is basically the areas of interest that I'm watching here at the moment. I just want to take this trend out. And from a simplicity perspective, I know that this is extremely technical, okay? And not everyone is, how can I say it, cares about the technicals or are clued up in terms of how to use the technicals. And from a simplicity perspective, okay, if I take the FIPS out the way, I take the levels out the way, switch off the session volume profile, what you would like to see over here is a successful break of the trend. Okay. You want to see a successful break. You want to see high time frame candles. Like, I mean, ideally a 4-hour time frame candle, 1 hour, minimum 15 minutes, although you still get a lot of fake outs with the 15 minutes, but that's usually my minimum that I look at. You want to see the body of the candle, bodies of the candles close above the trend. Okay. And then you have a shot, right, for momentum to continue to the upside. Okay, the reason, I know everyone is bearish at the moment. The reason, as per the thumbnail, I'm still seeing an opportunity for an upwards correction is when I zoom out a little bit. So if I go onto the 4-hour time frame, this is where it becomes interesting for me. Okay, this, one could argue, is a bear flag, right? Because price is coming from the top. Some people will argue it's a bull flag because price is coming from the top. But I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a flag, okay? And the flag can break up or it can break down. So what I'm looking at over here is, yesterday, during my update, I shared a bearish scenario and I also shared a bullish scenario. And also remember, legends, before I forget, down in the description of this video, that absolute special is back for a limited time, okay? By signing up with Bluffin, or if you are an existing Bluffin users, this is for both existing and new users signing up from the 29th of, which was yesterday, up until the 12th of September. The money that you deposit into your features account, you will get 10% cash back to trade with. Okay, but you need to leave the money in there for the duration of this campaign. Okay, right. And the rules are here. You can go and read through the rules. It should be on the website or inside Bluffin as well, where you can familiarize yourself with the T's and C's. But this is an unbelievable deal. So, I mean, you can literally just leave money, not trade, and still make 10% and use the 10% to trade with. Okay. Down in the description under exchanges, it's the first link. Also, if you'd like to come and join our Legends trading community, first link down in the description. Okay, so let's get back into the bearish structure, which I discussed yesterday, is that WXY. Okay, at the moment, the WXY technically still carries the highest probability. But as we all know, probabilities are just probabilities, okay? Perhaps the market will still surprise us, and we'll go through the surprise scenarios that carries lower probability, but that could still play out because we just never know. As traders, we watch the price reaction at each level, we make a trading decision, and always a good practice is to leave some of the position open for either higher or lower levels, depending on whether you're longing or shorting. Okay, so for the bears, for the bears, smash up the like. This is for you. For all the bears, this is for you, right? Let's go through the scenario. What you would like to see inside of this structure, if the Y is complete, and you believe, that, and this currently, it's not just you believe, currently the scenario is higher to still come and take this low based on this scenario that from an Elliott Wave perspective still makes the most sense. Okay, so what you would like to see in this structure is the formation of a 1-2 to the downside. Okay, you have impulses to the upside 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have impulses to the downside 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you would like to see is this form here, okay, to confirm momentum to the downside. So the reason for my thumbnail is to say that we can still go and find upwards momentum and break this trend. Okay, because we still need to form a 1, 2, 3 to the downside. So I'm still looking for wave 2 to finish. Does that make sense? So you could still have a breakout, but you can make a lower high, and then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you go and claim the low. It's as simple as that. The reason I say this probability also still has a high chance of playing out is that when I zoom into this structure over here on the 1 hour time frame, the one thing that is a bit concerning about this being the high, okay, and some people are saying, well, this is the 1, 2, and we're going to start tanking down from here. The concern I have with a 1, 2, 3 at the moment, okay, for me is that this pivot was formed before the minimum requirement from a timing perspective. So if this is the impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, if this is the impulse and I take a time fib and I put it on the high and on the lowest point over here, you can see that this high was made before the minimum corrective timing, okay, the 0.382. You guys can't most probably see it on the screen, but just trust me, the red line is the 0.382. At a minimum, you want this pivot, okay, or the 1, 2 to be formed after the 382. And this pivot was formed before the 382. So ideally, you want a 1-to-1 extension. So ideally, you want a 1, 2, 3, okay? Or even if it just finished here at the 1-to-1 extension, this pivot was just made a little bit too early, but I mean, the market is here to surprise us, so I'm expecting the unexpected, and this is why I'm just observing the price reaction at certain levels. So there is, based on timing and looking at this impulse here to the downside, there is still a possibility for us to find, even if we swing failure from the lows over here, okay, even if we swing failure and we get acceptance back above, there's still a possibility to break the trend, find upwards momentum, a beautiful long position here to the upside. Everyone's going to call it a fake out. I don't care. I can trade a fake out, okay? You just need to know where to take profits, because when you take a fib here from the lows, or from the high to the low that we've made, okay, with all the scribble, I can't see it. Okay, let me take the time fib out. There we go. Okay, now I can see it. From the high to the low. Okay. Maximum target that you would like to see hit, if we do get momentum here to the upside, is the 786. Maximum target. But I mean, 618, 50%, they are all good levels. We've already tapped the 0.382, but we made this high before the 382 from a timing perspective. Okay, that's the concerning part over here. So if you are a bear and you believe, okay, that we are still going to go down for lower levels, you want to see a lower high form in this area. So you still want to see a breakout. You want to see a lower high form in this area. And interestingly enough, when I switch on my point of controls, you will see the level that I like the most is the 786. I really like the 786 because it has confluence with a naked point of control. It is possible, definitely possible, to hit the 0.88. Definitely a possibility. It's just a more rare target for a second wave to the upside, where you basically will be forming a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. So this could potentially be the formation of a 1, 2, 3. Okay. At the moment, this scenario does carry the higher probability because there's very little mistakes with the scenario inside of all the structures over here, okay? And specifically because this structure, this is the confusing structure from a bullish perspective, which I'll get to in a moment, is this awfully looks like a three-wave structure. So this tells me this can definitely be a W, X, Y, where all the structures inside here are three-wave structures, and now we are busy building momentum to the downside. Okay, so from a trading perspective, it's very interesting, and I see people say, yes, Ewald, it's interesting. I'm learning so much, whatever the case might be. But the thing is, we want to trade. Okay, we want to trade this momentum. So what I'm saying over here is, because we tap the range high multiple times, we even with a dump to the downside, we do increase the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency. Okay, if we are increasing the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency, there is still definitely a possibility that you could still SFP, you find acceptance back. I would like to see ideally an SFP here from $57,000, 732, basically claiming this pivot. I would really like to see an SFP from this low, just grabbing all of this liquidity. Okay, just grab all of this liquidity that's been building up over here. If we do fall down here, you break the trend. Okay, you in a long, or you play the long from a SFP. That's usually the best levels to get into. Okay, it's an SFP because then you have the best entry and you can protect your position even with the breakout. Okay, and then potentially we get momentum here to the upside and we reject inside. I mean, it's a big zone, and this is why you need to play. This is why you need to pay yourself on the way up. I do, however, see that if we do have a successful breakout here, I do not think that we are going to reject at the 50% FIP level. And the reason I say that is because of what's happening from a range low and a range high perspective. Okay. We also had a dump here to the downside. Okay. We formed a range high. We tapped this range high multiple times, increasing the probabilities of coming to fill the inefficiency. And with this momentum here to the upside, I really thought, okay, we're going to come and fill the inefficiency. And then we stopped there. It doesn't make sense, right? So there's still a chance that we still need to come and finish filling the inefficiency over here, that you break out, you properly fill the entire inefficiency over here, where the 50% FIP level is too low for me. So ideally, you would like an SFP from this high together with a 0.618 and a little bit further up the 786. So this is the zone that I'm looking for, speculating on a 1, 2, 3 to the downside. But we can still make money with this momentum here to the upside. So you know exactly what you need to look out for, okay, from a trading perspective. If you're unsure, just play the trend, the break of the trend, okay? And, right, so, I mean, most bullish case scenario, most bearish case scenario is that the high is in. This is already a 1, 2, and we are now building a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. I just have to highlight this scenario because it's never guaranteed. Even though this pivot was formed before the 382, the market is here to surprise us. So I just have to highlight this scenario, is to say that this could definitely be, with momentum here to the upside, we could still form a lower high compared to this high. It looks like a breakout. You reject here. Okay, this is why this previous day value area high is so important. You reject, you get acceptance back below the previous day value area high. Okay, you form a lower high. This 1, 2 is in. So number 2 is in already, which is scarce. I must say it is scarce. And then you start impulses here to the downside. Okay, just have to highlight that scenario as well. That's why it's never easy in trading. And this is why risk management is so important. And looking at CVD, do you see bullish continuation of CVD? Do you start seeing some bearish CVD? Because, I mean, looking at CVD, there was definitely some, let me just check here, bearish CVD building up, okay, against these pivots. As price was moving up, there was bearish CVD. Okay, I think it's going to be better if I use a straight line between these pivots. As price was moving up here, okay, bearish CVD started forming, and then we rolled over, and then we had this wick to the upside, which in theory invalidated the bearish CVD, but nonetheless, okay, there was bearish CVD building up with a momentum here to the upside, and that does confirm the probabilities that we're going to come take this low, because that is the target for the CVD. Okay, right. What else? What else? Okay, so further down, if this is the high, and we're going to make momentum here to the downside, I mean, it will be really strange for me to not come and fill the inefficiency because we've tapped the level twice. It would be really strange. Nothing is perfect, unfortunately, in the market, but I would say 8 out of 10 times these scenarios play out. So there's always that probability that the scenario won't play out, and price just 1, 2, 3 down here, 4, 5, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The momentum basically just carries to the downside. Right, let me go through some comments over here. Great Alpha, smash up the like. Thanks, Mr. Crypto Big Brains. Yes, smash up the like for the Alpha over here. TA analysis at its best. Thank you so much. Ramanan, is it true? Devilled, is it true, legend? This channel brings me so much joy. Such a great community. Thank you so much. Yes, well, I truly enjoy the community over here. I enjoy the comments. I don't ever see anyone fight inside the comments. I've seen other YouTube influencers where the community just take each other apart. So I'm really blessed to have such a great positive community, and I appreciate every single one being here, watching the updates and analysis and learning together, okay? These range high and range low strategies are so powerful. It's definitely something that you need to keep in your arsenal because, I mean, nothing is perfect, but they do play out more than not. Okay, there's many examples. There's a range low over here. You tap it for the first time. Can you guys see? You tap it for the first time, you go and claim the high. We claimed the high. You tap it multiple times, you come and fill the inefficiency. We filled the inefficiency. There was another one. We have a range low, range high. Exactly what's happening here now. We have a range high. You tap it multiple times, even when price. Okay, the first time you tap it, price moved away. It tapped it again. It moved away. So it's like, is it playing out? Is it not playing out? But overall, it played out. It came to full the entire inefficiency. Can you guys see it? These range highs and range lows are really powerful. Here as well, there's a range low. Okay. And I mean, yeah, this one just tanked to the downside, okay? It fell down. You close multiple candles below, you're going to come and fill the entire inefficiency, which we did. It took long to play out, but you filled the inefficiency. So, I mean, there's many examples, even on the 1 minute time frame, okay, 1 minute time frame, smaller time frames, you tap the level multiple times, you fill the inefficiency. It's just, it plays out so many times. I cannot tell you guys how successful and powerful the strategy is. And maybe 2 out of 10 times it doesn't play out. It doesn't mean that the strategy doesn't work, okay? Maybe you just caught the one that didn't play out. Okay. That is basically what I see here on the smaller time frames. The most aggressive fall here to the downside from a level that I will be watching, regardless of how price plays out here. If we do find maybe a rejection here by the previous day value area high, or we just fall down from where we are right now, a level that I am watching, and I'm not sure why it's not here now. Let me just clone this one, is Pivot X. Okay, I will also consider SFP from Pivot X. Okay, I can just imagine how much stop losses are below this level. And I will also consider a SFP under pivot. I don't know what to call it. This pivot over here, right? Okay. So that basically concludes what I'm seeing here at the moment on the price of Bitcoin. I just want to see if I'm not missing anything. I just want to see the fib from. Okay, I want to quickly just discuss the bullish case scenarios because I've made everyone extremely bearish and then we smash here to the upside, okay, and we were not prepared. We need to be prepared for all scenarios. I just want to take a fib here from this low to the high. Okay, you guys can still see that we are dancing around the 786 level over here, okay, which is great. So regardless of this three-wave structure, and this is what is making everyone extremely bearish, regardless of this structure, so let's say there are 5 waves in there, and I have showed yesterday during my live stream that I can count 5 waves in the structures, or in the structure if I force count it. So definitely still a possibility for a 1, 2, 1, 2. We have hit the 786. Maybe we come and take the lows again. Your SFP, right? This level that I'm watching over here, this pivot, you will still be at the 786. And it just goes. It leaves everyone behind. We just need to keep this in mind, okay? But what you would like to see from this scenario is if this is definitely a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's going to break out here to the upside, you want to see some insane bullish CVD forming. You want to see that buy bid line just falling down while the price action is going up. That will be your clue. Oh my greatness, we might not get rejected over here because I do not spot weakness. I don't see proof of resistance. Price just looks bullish as hell. And then you get here to the trend line, you break out. Okay, another trading opportunity depending on how we break out over here. And then we continue the momentum here to the upside. But what I can say is if this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, the breakout here is going to be aggressive to the upside, okay? It makes small little bull flags on the 1 minute, 3 minute time frame. Maybe you're lucky you catch those breakouts, but price just leaves everyone behind because third waves are very explosive to the upside. If this is going to be a third wave here to the upside, they are very explosive. They are not boring price action that consolidates for days on end and you don't know whether we're going up or down. You will know we're going up if we are on a third wave. It just doesn't stop. It pushes up, it makes a small little bull flag, and it goes up. A small little bull flag, and goes up. It just continues momentum to the upside. And that's a clue that I'm looking for as well if we do get a breakout to the upside. Okay, then the other bullish scenario is, let me just clean up these point of controls. They are a little bit in the way. The other bullish scenario, which I think has the lowest probability than the double 1, 2 that I've just shared with you, is a 1, 2, 3 to the upside because this correction is incredibly long compared to the impulse. It is 7, 8, 9 times longer than the impulse, which dramatically reduces the probability. It never eliminates the probability, it just reduces it, okay? So in number 1 spot, we have a 𝗬𝗆𝗍, and we're going to continue momentum to the downside. It has, unfortunately, the highest probability. In number 2 spot, we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to the upside. In number 3, we have a 1, 2, 3 to the upside. Okay, don't really like the scenario. Right, and as price develops, there is other scenarios where we are basically, let me just see over here, A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, I mean, I don't know if the scenario is going to play out, but what if we just need to be open to the idea is that what if all the scenarios that I've just highlighted is not going to play out? What then? Okay, so from a simplicity perspective, you're watching the flag. Okay, from an Elliott Wave perspective, I know what I'm looking at, but from a simplicity perspective, how you trade the scenario is you could be ranging inside of the flag until you have the breakout. Okay, you're basically going to range inside here until you have a breakout to the upside. Okay, that is another scenario that I'm watching with, which is potentially a, if I can just get this out the way, A, B, C, D, E, and you break to the upside. Okay, so I mean, Elliott Wave theory is not really helping us in this regard. It's just about observing the price reaction as you hit each level. And that is what we do as traders. We observe the price reaction. When we hit a critical level, we make a trading decision. With good risk management, we enter and we take profits where we need to take profits. That's how we stay in the game. Hi, Devil, can you please take a look at XRP? Anthony has... this has been a very difficult range to trade with confidence. Yes. Anthony Poplet, all the way from Russia or Russia, Moscow, if I'm not mistaken. Anthony, welcome to the live stream. Great to see you here. Happy I managed to catch you live again. Right now, I'm simply day trading on clear setups and go to sleep with nothing open. Yes. I mean, I like to do that as well. Usually, if I'm in an open trade, I don't really trust the trade. I'll just close the position, especially if I'm in profits. I close the position and then either the next morning I'll wake up with a little bit of a surprise. Okay, price did actually continue or thank goodness I took profits because price broke to the downside. I also don't like to go to bed with a trade open because then you are that person, and I'm sure everyone here in the stream has done that. You wake up during the night to go to the bathroom or to drink water, and the first thing you check is your phone. What is Bitcoin doing? You go to a family event and you sit there with your phone, now and again checking the price of Bitcoin. It starts taking over your life, and you need to start putting boundaries in place. And one of the boundaries that I've put in place is to say that if I do not have a swing trade open and it's a nice day trade and I am in the profits, I close the trade so I know I can get proper sleep. Okay. Right. Remember, legends. Oof, double swipe. Okay. Link down in the description of the video. Bluffin. 10% cash back depending on how much money you put in. Okay. Well, not depending. You get 10% cash back on the money that you put in, up to a limit of $40,000, which you'll get $4,000. So if you put more than $40,000, you will still be limited to $4,000 bonus. If you put $100, you'll get $10. $1,000, you get $100. $5,000, you get $500. Okay, this special will only last until the 12th of September. Even if you put in $1,000, I just have to make that clear because this has been drilled into me by our partner Blowfin, is to say that even if you put in $1,000 and you trade and you lose the money or you are down $200, you will still get your bonus based on the initial amount that you've deposited. Okay, so quite a great special over here. Okay, so I mean, this basically concludes Bitcoin. Let's go and shall we do some altcoins for the legends here in the community? Okay, let's dive into XRP. I am which tab can I use over here for XRP? Let's use Solana. I was looking at Solana over here for one of the legends. I think it was for Mr. Scoot. Okay, you remember I was analyzing Solana over here. So basically, maybe just to recap, I'm keeping an eye on this trend here to the downside. This does look bullish. Okay, this does look like a bullish pennant over here. So as long as Solana can, keep in this pennant, you expect a breakout to the upside to go and claim the high once again. But based on Bitcoin's bearish situation, definitely a possibility that you can come and take the low. Okay, but if Bitcoin is in a 112, this could definitely be an A, W, X, Y, and then you have impulses back to the upside. Okay. Right. So, I mean, an obvious level that I'm watching here on the price of Solana is an SFP from the lows over here. If we can get a successful SFP from the lows, okay, you dip in, you get acceptance back above, that would be great. That's a nice entry to have because then potentially you break out and most traders will only enter there. So you have a lower entry, okay? Better risk management. You can protect your position. Okay, a little bit further down, we do have consolidation in confluence with the 0.618 at $130. It has a nice ring to it, a nice psychological ring. Okay, a round number, $130. Let's go and have a look at XRP. Not this one. This one. Okay, let's see what we have over here. Let's go on to the 4-hour. Let me make this thicker for everyone to see. Okay. Let's just take a step back, see where we are. I like to look at XRP on the logarithmic because it is such a difficult, I'm not going to lie. XRP is, for me, one of the most difficult altcoins to analyze because it has crazy price action. It has all these wicks. It has one candles to the upside and then multiple candle. It's technically a very difficult altcoin to analyze. It's not as clean as Link, for example. Link is a beautiful altcoin to analyze. Price action makes sense. Everything just balances nicely. XRP, not so much, but I did make some sense of it. Okay, so from a larger time frame perspective, let me go into the weekly time frame. Let's just take stock of where we are. So from a weekly time frame perspective, what you would like to see for bullish momentum to continue on the price of XRP is to stay inside a multi-year bull flag. Okay, it's a bull flag because price is coming from the bottom. Okay, multi-year bull flag where we basically have an A, B, C, D, E, and this range basically formed because of the court case. Okay, one could argue this formed during the court case. This is uncertainty. You're not taking the highs. You're not breaking out. They haven't lost the court case. They have now won the court case. So maybe the probabilities are higher for a breakout to the upside. And so, I mean, this bull flag started forming during Jan 2018. So this is a multi-year bull flag. So when and if it breaks out to the upside, you could get some face melting price action from XRP. So from a larger time frame perspective, it looks great. And this is why I included XRP back into my spot bags. I removed it a couple of years ago and I bought Rune, Render, and Solana. Now I've made a lot of money with those coins, so I took some of those profits and I bought a little bit of XRP. Now I have XRP back in my spot bags. Okay, so a couple of things that I'm watching here from a weekly time frame perspective is that if this is an A, B, C, D, E point is not allowed to take the point of C, and this is why I have a clear invalidation. 28 cents. Well, 0.28461. That is my invalidation. That is my hard invalidation for XRP. Okay, so ideally what you would like to see in this structure over here is we've already created the E point. Now you want to see bullish continuation over here for a breakout to the upside. But we never know, and that is why I have an invalidation. If we are going, so my soft invalidation, if I can call it that, my soft invalidation is the low over here. As soon as we take this low at 38 cents, I'm going to start getting worried. Okay, maybe we'll have a chance. Okay, but this is my hard invalidation, is at 28 cents. Right, now we zoom into the smaller time frames. Let's go on to the 4 hour. And this is kind of what I'm seeing in this structure. This is what I'm saying. Not pretty, but I can make sense of it. Is a double 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Okay, and it does not look sexy, but it does balance. Okay, when I take a fib from the low to the high, this retracement was exactly at the 786, which is considered a maximum target for a 1 2. Maximum target got respected to perfection. Okay, now what you would like to see, the second 1 2 here to the upside, this 1 2. Okay, now you want to take a fib from the low to the high. Okay, maximum target again 786. I don't want to see us lose. Okay, 47 cents. I do not want to see us lose 47 cents on XRP, because if this is a bullish structure that is forming here in the form of a 1 2 1 2, this needs to be your maximum target, 47 cents. And then if we do, I mean, we can bounce by the 382, we can bounce by the 50%, 618, even better. Okay, right? Those are the better levels to bounce at, but the maximum target is the 47 cents. Then you will have a beautiful 1 2 1 2 and a breakout of this trend, and this trend is basically I need to go into the 8 hour to show you guys that. Just clean up the scribble. Okay, where I'm basically just connecting this high, with this price action where we are at the moment. So this trend is potentially, if you're not sure about XRP, is to try and catch the breakout before the bigger breakout on the daily time frame. This is the daily trend over here. This is the monster that we need to pierce through. That could either be the rejection or an insane breakout to the upside. So you have an opportunity to catch the breakout over here. And also 786. Okay, if we get supported here by the 786, maybe I'll add a little bit more to my spot bags, because you guys know when we had the breakout here to the upside, I did not play the breakout, and I saw many of the legends did. Okay, when I highlighted the breakout here, many of the legends took the trade here to the upside, I think a 78% pump here to the upside, and I said I'm going to buy during the retracement. And then that morning, one morning when I woke up during a bloodbath where Bitcoin fell to the ground, I saw, wow, we bounced on the trend. We didn't get acceptance back inside the trend. When I take a fib from the low to the high, we bounced at the 786. I was like, okay, I'm going to buy some. That, it looks good. People are scared. I can see there's fear in the market. Let me buy a little bit of XRP over here. Okay, so if we come back down again to the 786, 47 cents, right? I will buy a little bit more, but I'm happy with what I bought. So even if we don't get to the 47 cents and we break out to the upside, I'm happy with the spot position that I have. Okay, so that's basically my analysis on the price of XRP. Okay. Solana. Okay, I've gone through Solana. 𝗬. Let's go have a look at 𝗬. I actually have not watched 𝗬 in some time. 𝗬 USDT. Let's go. Oof, I actually have done some analysis on 𝗬. Let's see if this analysis is still relevant. It must have been some time ago. Yo, it's still respecting the trend. Okay. I mean, what a beautiful breakout over here. Can you guys see why trend lines are so beautiful? Okay, beautiful breakout here to the upside. I mean, especially when you have like a multi-month or even a multi-year trend line that gets broken out. Also, it looks like a bearish, like a bullish pennant. Breaks out here to the upside, and you have an absolute insane pump of 716%. Absolutely insane. Just want to see, we're on log scale. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 A B C. Let's see if we can be finished with a correction to the downside. Okay, good news on 𝗬 is that we have hit the 1-to-1 extension, which could be the end of the correction to the downside, but we can also hit the 1.236. I don't know if we're going to, I'm not even going to talk about the 1.618. I think for now, let's focus on this zone. This is where you want to see the correction end, and we have tapped the 1-to-1 extension. Okay, but we can still come down to these levels where we will find support if we lose this trend. Okay, so all I did over here is I just want to see if I had this trend on the regular scale. Just want to see what's going on here. Okay, that's where I'm basically getting that trend from, is that on the regular scale, I basically just connected all these pivots. You can see we lost the trend and we have not broken back up. But now this is the one you need to track. Okay, so I can take this out, take that out. Okay, this is now the trend that you need to track. So if you want to invest, or from a spot perspective and from an investment perspective, I mean, you need to be patient. You need to wait for the break of the trend, or you need to buy up the dips. As the price falls, it makes new low, you buy up the dips, in preparation for that massive explosion here to the upside. So from a larger time frame perspective, and I am here on the daily, I would like an SFP from the lows. Okay, if we do lose the structure, you tap a C wave target, or the end of a corrective structure target, you get acceptance back above this low. Very important, you need to get acceptance back above. You do not put limit orders and try and catch the falling knife. Okay, you wait for price to slow down, you wait for consolidation, you wait for price to get acceptance back above the low. That is where you enter, and this is your invalidation. Okay, where you could potentially catch the breakout before it happens. This is resistance now at the moment. Okay. I just want to see what it looks like on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm not sure whether you guys want to see near from a day trading perspective or from an investment perspective. So I'm just jumping through all the time frames over here. Okay. I don't think this can be a 112 anymore unless, let's see. Okay, so I mean, if this is a 1212, you can see we're losing the 786 over here. We're losing it, and we are on our way to the 0.88, which is still, I mean, the hard invalidation for 112 is the low over here. Okay, it just becomes rare when you start tapping the 0.88, where this can still be a 1212, and you have the breakout. But this honestly looks more like a ABC. Let's see. Let's just measure this out. Yes, I mean, you can see, okay, ABC 1-to-1 extension hit over here where this looks like an ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you basically make another correction, ABC, and you continue the momentum to the downside. So at the moment, I would say the bearish scenario has higher probability, but I mean, I cannot rule out a 112 where you have the breakout to the upside. I can't rule that out unless you claim the low over here. If you claim this low, then the 112 is out the window. Okay, on the lower time frames, let's see if there's a beautiful, doesn't really have nice trends to track you to the downside. They are not sexy. Okay, you could wait for the break of that trend. Right, hi 𝗬𝗆𝗍, what is your view on Ondo? I have not looked at Ondo, so I don't have a view on Ondo. Okay. Morning Gold Star, welcome to the live stream. BTC dumping. Is BTC dumping? Yes, BTC is dumping. Let's see how this plays out. I mean, like I said during the beginning of the stream, if you missed out, the levels that I'm watching over here is an SFP from this low, okay? I will not, I just want to make it clear, I'm not going to put limit orders here, and I'm not going to try and catch a falling knife as it falls down and try add to your position with the hope it's going to turn around. That is how you burn your account. You wait for the level to be tapped. You wait for a reaction and a consolidation, and when you get acceptance back above this level, that is a swing failure pattern, not as you are tanking to the downside, okay? Please, I've seen many personal messages of people saying, but I played the SFP, why did it not play out? I'm like, but there was no reaction. We didn't get acceptance back above, okay? This is why 99% of my trades are market executed, not limit orders. Okay, let's go and look at Ondo for the legend over here. Is Ondo the ticker? USDT. Okay, well, whoosh. 1, 2, 3. Let me see. I have done some analysis here on Ondo. Okay, we have lost support. We have lost support, and we're currently trading below support. This does not look good for the price of Ondo over here. So, I mean, what really looks bad here, purely from a structural perspective, you are making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower high, lower high, and you're making lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. So, ideally, what you would like to see is a market structure change. Okay, you want to see a higher low. It needs to turn around and break the highs. Then you know, okay, lower high, higher high, I'm getting in at the next retracement where the support needs to hold. Okay, so where Ondo is at the moment, it's just not at a great space for me. Okay, from a market structure perspective, it's it needs to change. The only way I will get into Ondo is if it changes market structure. It's already had a successful SFP from this pivot over here. You can see a successful SFP. You did get momentum to the upside, but you failed to make a higher high. You failed to make a higher high. Okay, you need to start changing market structure over here. Ondo, I'll be honest with you, does not look good. Okay, it's not something that I'm interested in here at the moment. Right? I mean, there is a beautiful trend here to the downside, so you wait for the break of the trend. Okay, so if it does break the trend here to the upside, you want to see a higher high. It needs to not just break, it needs to give you the high. I will be patient. You know, with some trades, I'm very patient. I don't have FOMO and fear of missing out. Oh, it broke trend, I missed the trade. No, it must rally. I wanted to pump here to the upside. And then with the retracement, okay, now I'm like, okay, it broke market structure. It has a higher low. It's made a higher high. This is where I buy because it's a more confirmed entry. Okay, it needs to change market structure. Here on the price of Ondo does not look very strong compared to some of the other alts. Legends, that is unfortunately all I have time for. Remember, on Bluffin, you get that 10% cash back. Smash up the like on your way out. Have yourselves a super fantastic weekend. Thanks for joining me here on a Friday. I'm sure you guys want to go and spend some time with family, friends, wife, kids, whatever your preference is. I'm going to have myself a super relaxing weekend. Yes, I'll see you all on Monday. Just for now.